Tatis double dong. Let's step into the On Deck Circle.
You're listening to the DFS On Deck podcast, brought to you by LineStar App, the top-rated DFS tool set and #1 companion for DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo Daily Fantasy. Go LineStar Premium now at LineStarApp.com. Now, here are your hosts, fantasy baseball experts Joe Pisapia and KC Bubba.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and welcome to On Deck right here on the LineStar app. It is me, it's KC Bubba, and it's you. And we are here breaking down all things DFS this morning. It's a glorious Tuesday morning for you here. And there were a lot of guys that decided that one home run was not enough for them on Monday night. And we'll tell you who they were, obviously. And the good news is that Ryu is exactly the guy we wanted him to be, the guy we thought he would be. Another 6 strong innings from Ryu. He continues to look very good. Ross Stripling, however, had some troubles, and we will take the heat on that one. I mean, I know I will. When a team is 10 games under 500, that to me is a team I'm targeting with the best team in baseball, pretty much no matter who's on the mound. And Ross Stripling last night did not fulfill his promise. However, Fernando Tatis Jr. did. 2 home runs for him, 2 home runs also for Tim Anderson. And, you were so close. Luke Voigt was your other guy last night, and he had 2 home runs too. So close, but you weren't able to extend your lead on the home run race on me last night. But it was a night of double dongs. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, it was. We knew it was a lot of bad pitching. We kept saying that over and over again, that there's going to be a lot of offense, and my goodness, there was. It was all over the place. If you found the 1 or 2 guys that were pretty good on the mound, you were just rocking and rolling. But I know some people that scored well over 200 points on FanDuel and weren't even close to getting to the gold. So it was a very fun and interesting night on the diamond.
Well, we kind of said it too. We said, look, it's going to be weird, know, and, Gallen was good again too. And it was we were a little afraid of that one. And I think that when you have starts like that, you look at it and go, okay, this is now the confidence builders there. And I don't even mind paying up another $500 for him or whatever it ends up being next time he's out, because I like to be confident in the arms that I'm throwing out there, especially on the single pitcher site. So that was important as well. All right, let's fly around yesterday's games here. Cardinals will have 12 games every day. They won that first one against the Cubs 3-1. Blue Jay 7-2. We talked about Ryu, 6 innings, 4-hit ball, Grichuk dinger. That's what you want against the Orioles. So Ryu is back to being Ryu, basically. So, I mean, does he have high ceiling? No. But on a night like last night, he was just clearly the floor guy. Like, he was just, there was no doubt about like my confidence level in him compared to everyone else. The Yankees 6-3 over the Red Sox. We talked about Voigt homering, and Chapman returned. So there you go. So the rich get richer. But you know what, though? But the Yankees certainly need somebody to get healthy, in all fairness. Like, it's not gone well for them the last few weeks. That's for sure. Braves 7-6 over the Nats. Swanson, it's a walk-off. So good to see Dansby Swanson continue to have a nice 2020, man. I mean, this was a guy that a couple years ago, first overall pick, gets traded for Shelby Miller. Disappointing. I mean, at his best in college, he was a big doubles line drive kind of guy. And he seems like he's getting back to that style of hitting, which is, I think, very good. So no matter what was going on here, I don't know what happened these first few years, but it seems like Swanson's starting at least to become the player that we thought he would be.
Yeah, sometimes it's, you get drafted so high, all the spotlight's on you, and some guys just, it takes a little while to get going. He got rushed through the minors, and then he get traded. There's got to be a lot going on a young kid's head with all that. So he finally got to sit back. They put him at the bottom of the order for a year or two in Atlanta, then they moved him up, and he's been he had a good last season before he got hurt, and he's taken over in 2020 for sure.
Cano and Alonso both hit home runs as the Mets beat up the Marlins 11-4. So good there on, and once again, I talked about Yamamoto not being very good yesterday. His ERA is up to 11. So,
and he got demoted last night. So,
and he got demoted. It was a rough night for Jordan Yamamoto. There's no doubt about that. But, you got to look for these things. And we talked about some of the Mets bats yesterday too, being, DK, they were expensive. FanDuel, they weren't, which was always, to me, one of those big red flags. It's like, okay, algorithm saying they're going to be good. Take whatever discount you can get wherever you can get it. Second game of the doubleheader, Cubs came back, beat the Cardinals 5-4 there in that one. Then you have the White Sox once again. Tyler Boyd, first 2 batters he faces, what does he do? He gives up solo home runs. Tim Anderson had 2 on the night. It's funny because my other guy was Tim Anderson I wanted to go with. I said, nah, let's go with Eloy. He's really hot, but should have gone with Tim Anderson. We both would have had 4 home runs if we
Yep.
had our other alternate guy in there, but close is not close enough. You got to have the right ones. Nelson Cruz, I forgot. He also homered twice.
Yeah, it was a night of dongs.
Oh my goodness. Everybody went yard. And Bubby got the loss. Poor Bubba 4-1, but it could have been worse.
We'll see you in 5 days, Booby.
See you in 5 days, Bubby. 14-4, Padres beat up on the Rangers here. The Padres goes to back to 500 right here. Tatis, 2 home runs. Obviously, him and Juan Soto right now are looking like the dudes. Bad news for the Padres, though. Yesterday, Tommy Pham's going to miss some time. So, and that's a tricky injury to the hamate one. So, I don't want to say his season's over, but his season's over. And it's a big blow to the Padres. They're not like the thickest lineup, in my opinion. It's a little top heavy, but if Tatis keeps pitching, hitting the way he's hitting, it's hard to argue.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He hit that grand slam last night. And if anything, he's 21 years old and he's doing things that just don't make any sense right now. He's so good. I just hope he stays healthy because we need this in baseball. Yeah,
totally. Him and Juan Soto right now are just exciting, and I love fun. That they're fun. They're must see at bats, and that's really important right now. It's a big deal. You need some feel good stuff. You need some energy, and these are high energy, high octane kind of guys, and baseball needs that in the worst way. And I hope they embrace it because there is still a constituency of baseball people who don't like those guys, and
It was fun last night. They were showing the Juan Soto about an MLB network where the Yankees game was on rain delay. The bases were loaded. And he hits a bomb to left field, and it just barely misses the foul pole and goes foul. And he's just laughing like a kid, just laughing. Next pitch, he hits to straightaway center field, and the guy catches it with his back against the wall. And he literally he's jogging to second, laughing. And I'm like, this is fun. This kid gets it. It was awesome.
Wow, what's wrong with smiling and enjoying things?
Exactly, it was awesome.
Oh, everyone wants everybody so stoic, and not everybody's Ted Williams. You know what I mean?
Yep.
God, and Ted Williams wouldn't get great ratings. Got news for you. Let's have some fun. Let's get some energy out there. God, Correa had a double to help the Astros win 2-1. Bielak did sneak out the victory. His ERA is down to 1.69. Freeland didn't pitch poorly in this one. He's going to take the loss here, but that ERA is at 2.56. Peralta's 9th inning single lifts the Diamondbacks past the A's. Then you also got Lestelle with a walk-off. So 7-6 Angels over the Giants. And then, of course, that Mariner debacle. Corey and Kyle Seager, though, became the first pair of brothers in 19 years to homer as opponents. What a touching moment for the family.
That is so sweet. If it wasn't COVID, they could have hugged it out.
Yeah, but you can't nowadays. So you
can't. They frown upon that.
It's frowned upon, dude. You have some afternoon games today, so let's turn the slate over to Tuesday and let's talk about them here. We've got a 3:10 start here with the roof closed in Houston. Then we've got the Texas Rangers and the Padres in the 4 o'clock, and then you got Trevor Cahill and Dylan Bundy. Look, Greinke and Bundy are practically the same price. I'm curious, would you fade both of them and just go, load up on some bats and take Mike Minor, whose FIP has been better than his actual ERA? Or do you keep it simple and say, you know what, Dylan Bundy probably has the best matchup here. Just go chalk, pay the extra $400 for Bundy on the single pitcher site.
Yeah, this is a fun way to go about it because I know I say it every day. It's like a broken record, but I have to repeat it to people because it seems like every night no one understands why there's so many runs on the West Coast right now. It is ridiculously hot. Yeah. And these are day games in LA. The ball's going to fly out of here. So I love Bundy. I think he's a great play. I think you just kind of might want to play it safer with Greinke indoors. Or Houston's been quiet lately. If you want to go Sensatella, he's actually pitched really well this year, especially on the road. And you can get all the bats you want between San Diego and LA. That's how I'd go about it on a 3-gamer.
It's not bad. I'll tell you what, I would actually consider, because Bundy on DK is actually cheaper. I would actually, he's only 9.1 and Greinke's 9.4. I would actually consider doing I would do Senzatella and Bundy on DK, and on FanDuel single pitcher do Greinke.
I think I just play it safe for that indoor game and then go from there. That's what I would do.
It's fair. It's definitely fair. And look, I spent too much time on this one, but for you, who kind of pops up there because, I when you see names like Joey Gallo against a lefty, you don't realize Joey Gallo's been hitting left-handed pitching really well this year. So I would make sure he's in my lineup right now today if you're playing the day slate.
I agree. And Adrian Morion's making the spot start here, young prospect for the Padres, but he's not going to go deep in this game. So you're going to get a lot of Padres bullpen, which is good in the back end, not so much in the middle. So the Rangers could be a fun one because most people will play the Angels, most people play the Astros. So kind of focusing on this Padres Texas game, you're going to get some nice exposure here. And just play Fernando Tatis Jr. Just do it.
Yeah, just play Tatis. He's 5'3" on DK, but you know what? Play Cronenworth. He's only 3, and you can make it work. It marginalizes, exactly. And you know what? Same thing over on the FanDuel side. Cronenworth is 2.4. You can get a little, fill the stat line a little bit, nothing special, and then go up to Tatis at 4.4, and just get him in the lineup. The guy's just unconscious, man. He's been so good. It's just
Ty France is always the cheap righty versus lefties. Just remember that.
All right, let's continue on here. We got a 6-10 game now for the all day on FanDuel. Frankie Montas at 9.1, trying to make his start. We tried to do this last week. It did work out. I was really annoyed. And now he's at 9.1, which is more expensive than last time. He was 8.8 in that last start, so I'm a little frustrated here with the questionable tag. I don't know. I mean, do I want to put him into the all day? I think you can make the argument for it against Luke Weaver. I really do. So I'm just going to throw that out there and walk away and see what you think.
Yeah, the win equity is huge because I think Weaver's hot garbage. I really don't think he's good at all. So the win equity is huge. It is ironic, like he had $300 more when he was at the Giants last week. So go figure that one. But I have no problem with Montas. It's a good way to get exposure to the early game before the all day. The bats wise, Matty Olson, home run type stuff. Robbie Grossman went deep again yesterday.
I was just going to say, Robbie Grossman's 2.7, and he's been on fire, man.
Yep, just keep playing him and go away. I wouldn't stack this game because the A's are weird. If you look at them, it's like home run or nothing with them. But if you want like one off with Grossman or something and get some value, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think actually Grossman's a guy that I would definitely cherry pick if I'm doing the all day without a doubt. And of course, we're going to fade away from the Diamondbacks if we like Frankie Montas and not waste anybody's time, kind of going through that. All right, let's talk about this next one here. You got Blake Snell versus Tanaka. So the Red Sox leave town. The Rays come into town, and this is a repeat of last week's matchup. So Luke Voit swinging a good bat here, hitting in the 2-hole. Urshela, same thing. So you get some value here with the Yankees against Snell. 3.5 for Voit, 3.2 for Urshela, 2.9 for Gleyber Torres. So the middle of this Yankees order is very reasonably priced. Brandon Lau at 3.9 has been outstanding as well. Just want to point that out. Over on DraftKings, Lau is 4.9. Very expensive there because he's been red hot. And all the Yankees I just mentioned before are all in the mid-4 range. So do you approach this game? Do you fade it away? Is this the 4 outcome runaway for you? Because it's starting to feel like it for me, unless you're playing multi-entry GPP.
Yeah, this is the 4 outcome runaway because, Tanaka at times, if his splitter's working, is great. Snell's actually almost close to 100 pitches now, so we could see 6, maybe 7. If he does that, you don't want anything to do with the Yankees. Given like multi-entry, like you said, okay, sure, they have so much power, great. But in reality, a guy that plays more cash or single entry, 3 entries type stuff, I'm just going to fade this game.
I don't know why DraftKings hadn't made the adjustment, by the way, to the, they knew that the times are going to be wacky, all these 6 o'clock games. I don't know why they didn't involve them in an all day kind of option.
They've done it every year because I remember how Cleveland usually always, like when school starts, they do like the 6:40 games. Right. They never include them. It's the most annoying thing ever.
I just don't get that. It's just I don't understand why we are missing baseball. Like why are you doing this?
Just add the variance of another game. What are you doing?
Yeah, well, especially in this particular environment where you knew it was going to be chaos. And you knew how many of these games are going to be wacky starts and double headers and all kinds of crap.
Scratches and all this stuff.
Yeah,
more options.
I don't know. Well, but here's my argument against doing the all-day slate. It's Carlos Carrasco, who's basically the same price as Frankie Montas. I just, I mean, for $700 more, I get a matchup against the Pirates, and I'm just going to take it. Like, I'm just sorry, everybody. It's a cop-out. I don't care if it's 100% owned. It's not wrong. Framiel Reyes, as long as he's healthy, is another, guy to look at. Carlos Santana hitting from the left side of the plate against Brubaker here. 2.8 for him. Lindor still reasonably priced at 3.6. Cesar Hernandez at 2.7. It's a really nice play on FanDuel. Just get in with Carrasco, get in with the Indians and not overthink it on the DK side. More expensive, obviously. All these guys more expensive. Santana 4.3, Lindor all the way at 5.3. Even Jose Ramirez 5.4. I mean, it's telling you it's a good matchup. Take the good matchup, make some money. Don't overthink it. If it bombs, it bombs. Like last night, like Stripling and the Dodgers bombed against one of the worst teams in baseball. Okay, like that's baseball. It's going to happen. But more often than not, you're going to get the same thing we were kind of trolling the Pirates last week with Sonny Gray. This is the same feeling I have about Carrasco and the Indians tonight.
I completely agree. We don't have to go too deep on this one. Carrasco, great spot here. Very good cash game play with the floor he's going to bring to the table tonight. And the Indians on FanDuel, much more viable. If it's harder to stack them on DK, but their bats did wake up, so I'll give them that. If Framiel's healthy, he got hit in the hand on Sunday, but he should play at 44. I'm still good with the one-off there because he's swinging it so well, but it's hard to stack in that one. But Carrasco's the main storyline here.
All right. The main storyline in the Nats Braves game is definitely going to be Juan Soto. He's 4.7 on FanDuel, very pricey. He is 5.9 on DK. Ugh, that's where it gets out of control, basically. This is a game I don't have a good beat on. So, whenever I don't have a good beat on, I also tend to stay away. And it's not because I see all the different outcomes. It's just because I'm looking at that, the Braves lineup when it doesn't have Albies or it doesn't have Acuna in it is just not the same kind of, offense. And look, they do strike out a ton as well. And on the same side, like I like taking the one-offs against the Nats, once for the Nats once in a while, guys like, Kendrick and Cabrera, we've used quite a bit, but really it just feels like Juan Soto is that one piece I would want, and everything else, they continue to kind of be a punch and Judy offense for the most part outside of Mr. Soto. So what's your thoughts on this one? Cause I'm kind of lost here.
Yeah, you got Yanoa opening up, who's been getting shelled every time he opens, and Josh Tomlin's coming in, and he's been okay out of the bullpen, but it's Josh Tomlin, so I'm not too concerned about that. So like Juan Soto, Asdrubal Cabrera's 3-3 on FanDuel. He's been hitting cleanup, went deep again yesterday, but it is tough. Like we talked yesterday, you got Adam Eaton and Victor Robles, so super cheap on both sites still. Nick Markakis has a one-off for Atlanta. He's been swinging it really well. He's 3,700 on DK. He's super cheap on FanDuel as well at 2.4. So you can look those routes, but I'm not playing the pitching in this one. Voth can be good, but I don't see the ceiling for Voth.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm looking. Like it just, and look, this game might end up being 10-8 or something like that and might yield a ton of points. If it does, like I'm going to try to take the value side on the Braves. I'm going to take Markakis and Ozuna and that kind of thing, and Freddie Freeman, like, or if you want to go Dansby Swanson, Freeman, Ozuna, that's fine. Like that would be the path I would take in this one if you wanted to get a little strange here. Strange, speaking of, the Mariners beat up on the Dodgers last night. I mean, these things happen. Tony Gonsolin's at 7.1 on FanDuel. And, this is very tempting. I feel like we're going back into last night. He's 8.7 on DK. Would you go back to this well and take a flyer with Gonsolin? Or do you think that this is also kind of a trap?
It feels like you need that Star Wars gift that it's a trap. That's what it's starting to feel like. Gonsolin was good in his last time because he struck out 8 guys in 4 2/3. If he's not striking guys out, he's in trouble. And yes, Seattle does strike out a lot, but this is an all or nothing type thing with Gonsolin. On FanDuel, I can see it at 7-1, but I don't even know if he's going to qualify for a quality start, and that kind of worries me a bit there. So, yeah, it's a good matchup for Gonsolin, but he has to be like on to produce the outcome we're looking for. So I'm going to just kind of stay away from the pitching here and just load up on the bats on an early evening game in California. Mookie Betts is on fire. He's expensive, but he's playing well. Corey Seager's hitting everything. It's just one of those like 2-man stacks I'm loving with those two and kind of going from there. And if you want to play Kyle Seager, who's playing it well as a one-off for Seattle, I got no problem with that either.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, Corey Seager, has been excellent. And, the Seager boys, that's a nice story, like for the family, right? If 2 brothers played in the same game and hitting home runs. That's good. I like that. I like good stories. I like to feel good. The roof's going to be closed in Miami. We'll see if the Mets offense can continue to be good against Humberto Mejia. David Pearson is going to take the mound 7-6. I don't have much love for the pitching here, but as of right now, once again, you're going to see big variance. Pete Alonso, 5.2 over on DK, over on FanDuel. What's Pete Alonso's salary? It is 3.4. Big difference. One's you're paying a premium for, the other you're not. And I think, it's not a cash game play, Pete Alonso, right now, because I do think there's still too much swing and miss going on, but the power's there without a doubt. Cano's been pretty good this year when he's back in the lineup, and so far he's been good again since he got back in the second time after an injury. So he's just 2.9. He's actually one of the cheaper guys out there. So the Mets are kind of appealing today against the Marlins. McNeil is at 2.7, JD Davis at 2.8. I'm actually kind of liking the Mets stack today, which is something I rarely say. But you know what? It looks pretty good, and I think the Marlins have come back down to earth since their triumphant return where they beat up on the Orioles. I think we're starting to see the Marlins we thought we would see. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. They're going to be a little more popular after last night, but they're definitely more of a FanDuel play than DraftKings. Still pricing on DraftKings, but you can guys like Nimmo, Dom Smith, reasonably priced over there, and Cano's 45, but he's kind of earning it. It's a steep for cash, but he's there. And then the one thing I will mention is on DraftKings on a two-pitcher site, David Peterson can be your SB2. I'm okay with him there as kind of a decent 15-plus point floor guy at 7,600. But on FanDuel, I'm not going to go there.
No, but you know what? I think you're right. Like you said, the win equity might be there. 7.6 is enough to get involved. The other guy that you can make a case for on DK2 is Zac Gafflin at 6'9". Do you want to make that case against the Red Sox? Yeah, like the Red Sox are just not good. Like you're just not a good baseball team. And I understand Eflin is not Aaronola, but once again, we're searching with that secondary pitcher for a W, and I think Eflin is one of those guys you could put in that DK conversation as the secondary arm guy if you have Carrasco already or something like that where you feel really good about it. I love Bryce Harper tonight against Zach Godley. Once again, he is 5.5K. Real Muto is 5.3 on FanDuel. You still have to pay for Harper. He's 4.2. Real Muto is just 3.7. So, a little bit more leeway there on the FanDuel side. Anything else here for this one? Verdugo at the top of this order now, by the way, tonight too. So keep that in mind. It's another guy who's had a pretty good season, kind of very quietly in what's otherwise lost of the Red Sox.
Yeah, no, it's a lost season for them. And I don't have a whole lot more on this one because there's so many questionable guys for Philadelphia right now. So it's mainly Eflin is a good SB2 option. I'm with you there. And then Real Muto and Harper are the main two targets for sure. Yeah,
both those guys have been excellent this year. No doubt about it. All right, Nate Pearson. This is another one that kind of feels like a trap. He's 7K on FanDuel. I think people are going to take this shot. And I don't know if it's the right call. I got to be honest. There's another guy that I think I want to make a case for who, I'm going to have to pay more for, I think. But, but with Nate Pearson at 7.4, the strikeout potential's there. There's no doubt about that. I'm just a little concerned, because the Orioles have played better. And last night I was specifically targeting Ryu, despite the fact that the Orioles have been good. And you even brought it up on yesterday's show that, hey, this is not perfect because Ryu, is facing an Orioles team that's hit the baseball. And I'm going to kind of fade back from this one tonight. Are you going to be aggressive on Peterson? He's 7.4 on DK. Is another guy that, could be a nice secondary arm. That I understand. He's 7K on FanDuel. Would you get involved in this game tonight or some of the right-handed bats like Teoscar Hernandez or Vlad against LeBlanc?
Yeah, I'm more interested in the bats like Teoscar at 32, Vlad at 29, but more importantly, a guy that's on absolute fire for the Blue Jays. Went deep again last night. Grichuk at 24 is the guy you want. Hits lefties extremely well. He's hitting everybody really well last night or this last few weeks. So I want him a lot on FanDuel at his price, only 39 on DK. Very affordable. There's a lot of decent priced bats in this game, like Renato Nunez at 41, Santander at 43. You can play with those kind of prices, and there's going to be some offense in this game.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's why I'm fading away from the pitchers here. And listen to what Bubba says. He's right on there. All right, Luis Castillo, 10.4 against Brad Keller, 8.3. Castillo's been a little up and down too. If you go look at the FIP numbers again, it says that things are going to turn around for him a little bit. Winker's been incredible. I like Winker tonight, 2.8. He's going to be in every lineup. So for me, he's just 3.8 on DK also. So I think it's a really good matchup for him. Anything else here? Because when I see Luis Castillo, I don't get excited about, getting guys like Soler and Merrifield in my lineup because Castillo can be that good.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's tough to fade him. It's one of those he could go 5 or 6 and you bullpen, but you can't really predict that. So I'm with you on Winker as a really, really good one-off. And on the two-pitcher side, if you want to fade Eflin, who I think is a good play, Keller's actually pitched much, much better this year, and he's $6,700 as a playing a team that hasn't played in 5 or 6 days. That could be an interesting option.
Dylan Cease is going to be an interesting option too against Tariq Skubal. 8.5K for him on DK. That's reasonable. On FanDuel, 8.2. I wish it was just a little cheaper on the FanDuel and the single pitcher, but look, Robert's terrific here, 3.1. Eloy Jimenez on FanDuel, 3.4. Abreu at 3. Anderson at 3.3. Like all these guys are still in that low 3 range, and all of them have such huge upside. And Anderson showed it last night. Eloy showed it over the weekend, and Robert showed it last night. These guys continue to show that they are just good investments and they're good returns. And against the lefty here, I'm just worried that this big right-handed power is going to eat this kid alive.
Yeah, he's only going to throw about 50 pitches. So then you get that wonderful Detroit bullpen. So play all your White Sox, all of them.
Yeah,
This is
all
going
of
to
them.
be an awesome game. It's
All of
like you said, Abreu,
White
Robert, Anderson, Jimenez. They're a little pricey, but my goodness, they're going to have a monster.
Yeah, I
game.
mean, Mikado. Like, you could just stack the hell out of this game for the White Sox side, at least.
And the Cease is an SP2 on DK. I like a bit as well.
Yeah, I think it's a little safer. I'll tell you what, too. I also really like Kenta Maeda tonight, 8.8 against Corbin Burns. It burns.
It burns, baby.
Kenta Maeda at 8.8. That's my tournament arm of the night. I'm going to save $1,000 from Carrasco and just take the W. I'm just going to, because Kenta Maeda's getting out there and basically throwing 6 innings every time. His first start was 5. Every other start was 6. He's going to throw basically a quality start. And nobody on the slate tonight in the evening really has. We're talking, there's no Max Scherzer. There's no big time strikeout guy that we have to worry about. None of the big Indians guys besides Carrasco. I mean, Carrasco's out there. Like, that's the only other guy, right? So this could be a night where you take that cash lineup and throw it in tournaments if Carrasco goes off and has just an incredible evening against the Pirates, which is very possible. Like, he could have maybe not complete game, but maybe like a 7-8 inning. I mean, who knows? Maybe he could throw a complete game shutout. It's possible. That's how good this matchup is. But outside of that, I think like the best, safest thing that I feel is Kenta Maeda at 8.8 against the Brewers. And it's not knock on the Brewers. Maeda's been good, and that Twins offense is solid, man. I mean, you just know every night that they're gonna put up run support.
Yeah, you're 100% right here. Like, and Maeda's 97 on DK, where it's a little more kind of like $200 more for Carrasco. Seems a more appealing play. But on FanDuel, saving that $1,000, he just took care of business in Milwaukee his last time out. The Brewers, like you said, it's nothing against the Brewers, but at the same time it is, because they're striking out a ton. They're not hitting righties well. Their offense is just in a funk. It's really, really bad. And Maeda at home with that offense, like you said, Burns is good, but he's only going to go 4 or 5 maybe at the most in Milwaukee's bullpen. So the win equity is huge. Play Kenta Maeda and enjoy it.
Yeah. Now, what are your thoughts on Yu Darvish at 9.9 tonight against the Cardinals? They've all
very intriguing.
It is. It's tough though. Like I'm just.
I'd rather Carrasco or Maeda. Better matchups.
Well, I'm just thinking about matchups compared to price, compared to like all those factors. When you factor everything in, that's kind of where I'm thinking. And I don't think Yu Darvish is wrong. I'm just saying it's just I think that I'd still rather have Carrasco, all things being equal tonight. These things where teams are playing multiple games all the time and all this stuff like that. I think things get a little wacky, and it's just tough. It's tougher to gauge. And I just, you don't know what the fatigue factor is. And sometimes that's the opposite effect. Like the Cardinals playing so many games that they're just locked in potentially, and they're just, kind of zombieing through it. But I'll tell you what, just jumping back real quick, because I don't like any of the hitting in that game necessarily. Like, I'm not thrilled. Is there somebody in the Cubs Cardinals game that you're pointing out that you want to be involved in tonight?
If I haven't looked at the weather, if, like, for some reason the wind's blowing out, you can get some lefties versus Ponce de Leon.
It looks like it's blowing in today. As of right now,
it looks like then I really want to stay away then. Yeah. Sometimes I don't care about weather, but Wrigley's Wrigley, and it's got a track record.
It looks like 11 miles an hour in right now is what that weather is. So that's not
good then.
Yeah. I tell you what though, I'm gonna attack that Brewers team too a little bit today with some Twins. Twins and White Sox is where I want my offense. The Mets is a good one for a little more cost effectiveness even. So there's some definitely good offenses out there. We went through the pitchers. So that means there's only one thing left, and that is to call our shot. So it's that time, boys and girls. It's time to call our shot. Bubba and I are going to pick somebody to go home run. That's right, go yard tonight in Major League Baseball. So Bubba, why don't you go first and give me your pick to leave the yard?
That's so kind of you to let me go first, Joey P.
Right.
So my pick to go yard, and this is I'm not going to get cute. We talked about not getting cute anymore. So give me Mookie Betts tonight. He's going to hit another one against Marco Gonzalez and company out there on the West Coast.
All right. I like that one. I like it. This guy was the GIF on yesterday's show, so I'm going to go with Jose Abreu going yard against the Tigers tonight. I like that White Sox lineup. I just do. I absolutely do. So there you go. So those are our picks. And if you retweet this segment over on Twitter at LineStar App on Twitter, you can win yourself some free stuff. Just reply to it, see who your home run call is, and get in the fun with us and win yourself some free swag. Everybody likes free stuff. And if you're new to the show, make sure you subscribe to the On Deck DFS podcast wherever you get your podcast. Google, Stitcher, iHeart, iTunes, everything. We are there. And you can follow us on Twitter at LineStar App, at LineStar MLB. And go get that LineStar app and upgrade to the premium product too, so you can use the optimizer and all the tools to check everything out there. The stats are easy to understand. It's not overwhelming. Again, DFS for everybody. You can also follow Bubba on Twitter at KCBubba and myself at Joe Pisapia17. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. There's nothing left to do now except step out of the on-deck circle and into the batter's box and go yard. We'll see you next time, kids.
You've been listening to the DFS On Deck podcast, brought to you by LineStar. Hit subscribe, tell a friend, and stay tuned for the next episode from fantasy baseball experts Joe Pisapia and KC Bubba.